Hi everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Cielo and she's a video creator and also works for YouTube and she lectures in Stanford. I suggest you check her YouTube with Cielo and I can see here like around 14.6K subscribers, which is something I believe is great. And I found Cielo from the video she recently made. The era of AI video is here, or the era of generative AI video just arrived, where she discusses Sora, and it's an amazing video. I suggest you should see it. And this is what we're going to discuss in this video. There's a link to her Instagram. You can see a lot of what she does here in video creation, photo creation, and her website, clod.com, where she posted amazing photos I see about Switzerland, Lisbon, California, and yeah, you can see them all. Welcome, Cielo.
Hi,
So is
I'm
there
on.
anything I missed while
Oh, that was a lot for the
okay.
intro. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's focus on Sora. Are you concerned as a filmmaker?
Yes. I mean, for me to say no would be pretty naive. I think it'll definitely impact the way filmmaking is done, but I don't think of it as a, doom and gloom kind of impact where it would annihilate filmmakers completely. But I think it will absolutely change the process of filmmaking as it is today. And a lot of it, I think, is for the better, actually. Yeah.
Do you feel some positions will be gone, some job positions will be gone like very soon, or you don't believe
Yeah.
this?
I don't believe that. And I don't think these job positions will go away completely. And I think we have to look at it from the different roles of that are involved in filmmaking. So you have directors, you have writers, you have editors, and then you have cinematographers. So basically, are we saying that all of these roles are going to go away? I don't think so. I think the way these roles are conducted will change. So for example, a director, if they were to use generative video, they will have to learn how to direct somebody that is writing the prompts, and then like picking and choosing the results, for example. And it would be similar to like you were directing something on a set, but you're directing the prompting and the generation of the video. Um, for a filmmaker, or let's say a cinematographer, that might be impacted because, instead of physically using a camera, you're going to have to take those visual skills as a cinematographer, and you're going to have to like be able to, you'll have to have use words to create that footage instead of you physically moving the camera. It won't go away, but I think we all have to learn this new skill.
I noticed you spoke about being a prompter or a better writer. You said like being a better writer is that's all we need in the future. I mean,
Yeah.
isn't that concerning? Because it's more like now video creation is more like for poets and
Yeah.
people who really know how they can just switch career or add to their career and that's it. And they can generate a Hollywood movie and that's all. Like,
I
you,
know. Well, I'm curious to hear what you think too. But it's a skill we need to have, like ASAP. If you're going to use any kind of prompting whatsoever, you're going to have to learn how to prompt. And you're going to, especially to generate video, as we saw, like in my video, I showed what type of prompt had to be written in order for that. There's that Big Sur kind of drone video that I showed. It was a whole paragraph, and it wasn't just a plain old like drone shot Big Sur daytime. It was, you have to have that vocabulary of a writer. You don't have to necessarily, uh, you know, put your sentences together in any cohesive way, really, but you have to have those descriptive words and that vocabulary, which I believe not everyone has, but we do need to start learning to have that. And I think once you have those words and you have that vocabulary, your generation of video is going to turn out much better than, someone who doesn't have that skill set. I use an example. So like I know right now for me, I'm not a writer at all. And so like when I do prompting, it's a little bit embarrassing, but I won't even use cohesive English. I would just it to me it's just a bunch of keywords. So if I want to say generate a photo, so let's take Switzerland, those photos that I took. I was trying to actually generate those using words, and I was like, boat, lake, Switzerland, daytime, mountains in the background. That's how I write my prompts. But someone who's a writer, and I can't even pretend right now, would probably something like, you know, like how's the water move, like would describe how the water is moving and the boats bobbing up and down, like it will have action plus adjectives. um so I need to learn that because right now I also don't have that skill set.
So the next skill you believe is now to go and take courses in writing and that's
Yeah, or read more fiction.
read more also. And what about your colleagues? I mean, you're in this environment. Are they like worried about their positions also?
Yeah. Well, not worried about our positions. I
And
think we're just
what exactly what positions exactly?
I would say it's just okay, so working at YouTube, we obviously care about the type of content that ends up on the platform, right? And for good content, you want content that is not just there. Okay, this is again, I have to say this because this is my opinion and not my company's, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
You
sure.
have to but I feel like there's content that is generated, but I'm afraid that originality and the creator's voice will go away, or there'll be less of them because there's just all these generated videos, and that feels to me a little bit impersonal right now. So I am personally worried about the creator's voice being lost, like your voice, right? So like you're making this video right now. It's so easy to create a generated video and just take somebody's voice, write a script, and have an avatar, like realistic avatar, making this video. And that might feel real, but to me then that loses, like, you're replaced as a creator because it's generative video. And it can just be done. So I think that's what I'm afraid of, is like what happens to creators, and the creator's voice. And things like vlogging, like does generative video become so real now that anyone can just conjure up a scene for vlogging and then there's no authenticity to it, you know?
Yeah, and this is what I asked my uh, latest guest. I asked her, like, imagine now when Sora will have audio, let's say, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's recently having audio, but I mean, when this happens, imagine like just someone writing like Ahmed is saying this and
Yeah.
Cielo is saying that.
Yeah.
Cielo's background looks like this. There's a
Yep.
guitar, there is a door, and Ahmed's background is like this background. And he says this, she says that, and suddenly an interview which is fake uh,
Yeah.
generated. Like, is that
Yes.
possible? And are there any ways, do you think, that someone can detect if it's false or true?
Such a good question. Is it possible right now? 100%. Very, like, all the technology is there. And that prompting skill that we were just talking about earlier isn't even needed, because what someone could do is, so there's the video to video generation, right? Like you use, or an image, like let's say you use the image of this background of mine and you have me in it. You can use that image to generate video. So you don't even have to describe it. It'll just take whatever's in an image. So that can be done. We all know like audio dubbing can be done. I just need 10 minutes of your voice. I can create, your voice to speak. Um, and then the interview, someone has to write the script. The thing right now is it will be easy to detect that is generated because there's so many glitchy things right now happening with generative video. Like you can still tell that it's generated video. So those examples that Sora, in that Sora video, you could still tell it was AI, right? Like, I don't know, what were your thoughts on that? Did it look like AI to you still?
I actually can't distinguish because it's just when it was released, they said it's AI generated. So I
Yeah,
didn't have time like to think whether it is or not because they just said it.
you knew it. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it looks realistic. There was a Sora generated video for Japan, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
the people looked like AI generated, not the environment, not the
Mhm.
scene, not the trees, but to me, it felt like the people are AI generated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
example, the first one, which was a lady walking, Japanese lady walking,
Mhm.
it looked very realistic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they put this tool, which is Sora, out to the public, but shouldn't they put out another tool which detects if it's AI generated or not? Because now
Yeah.
YouTube, yesterday when I was posting my video, there's a new
Question.
yeah,
Yeah.
question which is saying
Yeah.
that are you including any AI generated or
Yeah.
not? So it doesn't seem like they can detect it, so they are asking. That's what I felt. I don't
Mm.
know. It shouldn't be a question. It should be like a tool embedded, and they know how to do it. They know how to detect fake images or footage from the real video footage.
Yeah, I agree. I know at some point we will get there. Like it makes sense that it's auto detected, but there's a lot of processing that has to happen in order for some like YouTube, for example, to be able to detect that. I imagine hours and hours of videos it has to process in order to determine if there's AI. So right now it's a checkbox and it's on our system. But there was that kid, I forgot I don't know. Do you remember that article? There's this, college kid who wrote um, a program in order to be able to detect essays, was like written words, if they were generated using ChatGPT or Gen AI. And so I would imagine someone out there is going to write some program where you can detect that something is generated. Because I do believe, next year, 5 years from now, it'll be so hard to see to know whether something is generated by AI or not. Like there's a lot of these like, especially with, politics, a lot of like you can get Trump to say whatever now, and it's hard to tell whether he really said that or not. And Biden, just to cover both presidents. Um, yeah, so already with like the audio dubbing and like that's super hard to tell. Um, and so with full
So
on
you
video
mean things
generation,
like deep fake and
yeah,
so, yeah, and like it was something I read in an article in 2020. They spoke about deepfake, so I believe it's not like something new, but now it's
yeah,
getting indistinguishable from other from the
yeah.
real thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is concerning.
Yeah, and also like, maybe 4 years ago, the tools weren't as easy to use. You had to
Mhm.
kind of jump through a bunch of hoops in order to do that. Whereas now there are a lot of tools at your fingertips that can generate video even on the phone. Like there's a Runway ML that's on the phone that can generate it. Like there's a lot now. And so more and more people are creating it. It's not just, the super nerdy tech people who have the technology. It's like everyday people like you and me that can generate it.
Well, yeah, still concerning.
Yeah,
So
I know. It is very concerning. And so I don't know. I feel like there needs to be some regulate and government is always super slow to regulate these things. Um, but
yeah, I always believe
100%.
like there is a period of gap until
Yeah.
it's regulated. So in this period is the most concerning usually for people who are scared about it. And
Yeah.
the next thing, let's just jump into
Mhm.
advantages to chill a little bit. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all being scared. Uh,
Yeah.
so you said you will use it for, let's say, drone footage, which is good for you.
Yeah.
That's a
Totally.
that's a great advantage also. The stock footage market, you talked about
Mm,
it. Do
yes.
you believe it will go down like sites like Shutterstock?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, because okay, this is assuming that to generate video or images is free. So let's
Mhm.
pretend, right? Because if it's not free, then like maybe stock footage won't
It
be
will
hurt so
still be
much.
there.
Right, right. But like if video generation or image generation is free or like a lot cheaper than stock footage, I would say 100%. Like we stock footage business will lose quite a bit of money. And I say this because I've tried using stock, or I have used stock footage in the past. And the problem is a lot of the times you can never get exactly what you want, right? So like for example, especially for diversity, stock, foundries are getting a little bit better now, but like, okay, I'm an Asian woman. A lot of the times I'm trying to generate like B-roll, like when I used to make iPhone videos, like I would say Asian woman, putting iPhone on a tripod, zero results, and because no one thought to film that. But if generative video, I can just put that prompt in and get exactly what I want. Why would I use stock footage? So right now there are limitations to what can be generated with Sora. I haven't used the tool, so these are all assumptions. Um, even with like Google's Gemini,
Mhm.
like there was that huge um fail of like the types of images of people it was generating. So I don't think it's quite there yet. That stock footage like um God, like Getty, for example, I
Mhm.
don't think they need to be afraid just yet. It's still a while, but at some point, like they should be worried because right now, simpler things like mountain forest footage, like that one's kind of easy to generate. There are things that are like background B-roll kind of footage are already, it's pretty easy to generate. So I think those things already will take away from stock footage business. Like I wouldn't go to Getty to generate like a sunset
And pay for it.
and pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What after Sora gets better? Do you have any predictions? Like what what kind of, let's say, what kind of job you'll be doing, for example? Like what will change in your career?
Yeah, I think everyone's afraid that generative video is going to replace something that already exists. Like it's going to replace video, like, movies or whatever. But I think it's going to be a new genre, actually. It's a new genre that we don't currently have. So like, you have documentaries, whatever, like generated video, like short film. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a new genre that's going to emerge, especially after the latest examples. You should check out the latest videos that were created by actual filmmakers using Sora. So OpenAI gave them the tool, and it's fascinating the kind of content that they created. It was really creative. And to me, I was like, this is a completely new genre. Like, it's not replacing anything. So to me, that is a positive thing. Um, so I don't know, like, if other than a new genre emerging, I do think roles will change. CGI, will probably change a little bit. They might use generative video instead of, like CGI. I do think the industry will evolve, but I don't think people's jobs are going to go away. They just need to gain new skill sets.
Well, that's great then. I mean, people will still have jobs. So
Yeah,
it,
in certain industries, yeah. So I think filmmaking will exist, Hollywood will stay. It's just everyone's job's gonna change a little bit.
Well, thank you so much for the insights, Cielo. I hope we can do it again.
Yeah, it was
Maybe
great chatting to
when
you. It was
whenever
super
something
fun.
another update is out there, we can join in another meeting and talk about it.
Sounds
So
good.
thank you so much.
Thanks so much.